Spread the fire. Welcome back to SMWX, and I'm here joined by a triumvirate of judicial titans, Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng, as well as Judge President Mlambo and Musi. Thank you so much for joining us on SMWX and giving the youth voice even more gravitas than it ever had.
Thank you for inviting us.
Chief Justice, it's an extraordinary thing to call a press conference as a Chief Justice. I recently interviewed retired Justice Edwin Cameron, and he said in the Nkandla judgment, he would have written a very simple judgment. But your genius, he called it, was realizing that the public needed to see a display of ethical leadership. Why did you decide to call a press conference and take this extraordinary step?
Many have died. Many have suffered in a way that defies description to get us to where we are, to lay the foundation for the previously oppressed and exploited to have some say in the running of the affairs of their country. And the judiciary has been critical in ensuring that we preserve what we have and make the most of it to realize what is yet to be realized for the greater good of all South Africans. Now, any step, any measure that appears to be designed to ruin what we have worked so hard as the judiciary and the South African public to bring into being requires our attention. It would have been a dereliction of duty given the number of statements and allegations that have been made against the judiciary that go to the very core of what it takes to be the judiciary or a judicial officer worthy of being believed, for us not to act, especially now. So it was necessary for us to call the bluff of all those who say that they have evidence to come forward and be prepared to testify, demonstrate what is it that they call corruption, what is it that they call capture. And if anybody does have evidence, we are not going to be defensive. We're going to make sure that we get to the bottom of the matter. And that's what we wanted the South African public to know. That when we say we are against corruption, we're not grandstanding. We're not being populist. We're articulating a principle that truly defines what the South African judiciary is about.
You know, watching social media over the last year or so, obviously these recent allegations are troubling, but it seems as though there's been a concerted attempt, not just on the part of a few individuals, but a strategic attempt to undermine various parts of the judiciary. A fake account was created for the Deputy Chief Justice, purporting to speak on his behalf, which he had to repudiate. And of course, we've had these various allegations of payments which don't seem to have any evidence behind them. So could I put it to you that there is more than just a few troubling individuals, but some kind of concerted campaign to undermine the judiciary? Is that something that you're thinking about, or are you worried simply about the specific allegations that have been made?
Well, I wasn't aware of the other allegations because I'm disadvantaged in the sense that I'm not in the social media space. I rely on Nati and some colleagues to share with me whatever damaging information is out there that requires my attention. So I wasn't aware. But now that you've made me aware, our intention is to have all damaging allegations leveled against members of the judiciary to be investigated, so that it doesn't look like we're targeting those allegations in relation to which we know there is no evidence, but those that we know there is evidence, we're shying away from having them investigated. Everything must be investigated, and everybody who is involved in this attack against the judiciary's credibility and legitimacy can be exposed.
I wanted to raise this question of social media again because it seems as though the wheels of judicial justice grind very slowly, but social media is lightning quick. And I think of the recent judicial decision to seal records surrounding the Ramaphosa campaign, for example. Nearly a day later, Twitter was leaking these documents. Do you feel as though we're trying to solve 21st century problems with a 20th century architecture?
Well, not necessarily. I think, however quick social media might be, justice will definitely be done as long as there exists the capability to identify those behind allegations. You see, people do get emboldened to go on and on doing wrong things when they know there won't be any consequences. But once the capacity to follow you up until your cover is blown, people will now know going forward that it can't be free for all. When you make allegations in whatever platform, know that there would be consequences. So it doesn't matter how many allegations are made. What matters is that we should ultimately be able to identify those or locate those who have made the allegations and deal with them.
And just finally, and I put this question to all members of this panel, as we speak, there are a number of citizens, mostly women, marching over the Am I Next movement and this shameful raft of gender-based atrocities that we've seen. And some spotlight has been put on the judiciary in terms of its role in making sure that justice is seen to be done and is being done. What kinds of reforms do you believe need to be urgently prioritized so that justice for particularly women in South Africa is done and seen to be being done?
Well, let my colleagues start. I'll round up.
This is, I think, the fourth year already that we introduced reforms to target particular cases for fast-track case management so that they come to trial quicker. Gauteng every term has more than one serial rapist trial that are followed by murders of the women involved. And those are the particular types of cases that we target for focused case management to make sure that they come to trial quicker than is possible, and that's bearing fruit.
Thank you. Well, I can only speak for the Free State Division. In the Free State, in conjunction with the Director of Public Prosecutions, we have, in a way, mainstreamed femicide. All femicide matters in the Free State now goes to the High Court. The reason, therefore, is one, to emphasize the seriousness of the crime itself, because it goes to the High Court, and then also, secondly, the kind of sentences that can be imposed for those kind of matters.
Well, I can only say that I hope to touch on these issues on the 3rd of October when we will be in a judicial accountability session, speaking to the public about what is it that we have been doing, how we've been tackling a number of issues that are of great concern to the South African public. In one statement, additional to what the judiciary itself has been doing, there is more collaboration that is called for among all the key stakeholders in the criminal justice system to address this issue. I am not satisfied that we work together as closely as circumstances demand that we should. I believe that it is only as a result of a collaborative effort that the fight against gender-based violence would be won or would be accelerated to the desired end. And maybe we've got to identify areas where we're not working together when circumstances demand that we should.
Well, they say if you appear before a judge, make sure you're the one asking the questions. So to both Judges President Mlambo, Musi, and of course the Chief Justice, thank you so much for gracing SMWX with your respective presences.
Thank you for affording us the opportunity to speak to the youth.
Thank you. Ayeye.
Thanks for watching the content. Like, share, and subscribe on all platforms. smwx.co.za to join the WhatsApp channel. And let's build a new conversation for a new generation. I hear you.